Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing today? I'm singing you a song because that's what I'm doing. Why is this not wait. There we go. That should be good. I should close those blinds to reduce the glare. Sorry, I'm a minute late today. I forgot to put tequila in my coffee before I sat down, so I had to run and go do that. So, today, all of the things that we're going to be doing, okay? So, I don't know how exactly yet, but throughout this little deal here, I'm going to be giving away a copy of Chicken Strips and a copy of Madness, my two little mini zines here. I haven't decided how that's going to work yet, but that will be going on through this. The next thing is that this is going to be a live writing stream. So if you are needing to work on stuff too, now would be a perfect time to do it. Because I'm going to be doing a lot of the typety types. And because I looked and I am 15 poems short for the 100 poem challenge that I think ends today. That's the actual end date that was given. I started 2 weeks late, so I was trying to just get it done in time. And then I'm like, you know what? I'll just give myself an extra 2 weeks. But because of the Poetic Anarchy course and some other things that are happening, it would be nice if I could close this chapter before opening up new ones. So that is what's going on. Yeah. Other things that are happening right now, just to give you some good, juicy information. I am on a diet right now. I have gone back to a type of the 4 hour body thing because I did that over the summer and last year, and it worked really well. And I dropped, can't remember exactly. I think it was like 25 pounds I lost last summer. And then by not doing it and injuring myself, doing other things, and not being able to do anything, I actually put that weight back on. With I think I was still 4 pounds under where I was. But anyway, so I've been doing it this week. Monday is my cheat day. I started last Saturday. I think I started last Saturday, and I skipped my cheat day and just went through the week. And I've lost 12 pounds. And then today I was a pound up. So in total, like as of this moment, I've lost 11 pounds. But I got to 12 pounds. So basically, the idea of the 4 hour body is that you have to eat every 4 hours. Like you have to, because your metabolism needs to keep going. It needs to keep building. It needs to keep like going in on itself, kind of thing. And when you don't eat, your metabolism obviously stops working altogether because there's nothing to do. And then if it really needs energy, it just starts eating at itself, which is not good. That is not something you want to have happen. What the heck is happening now? Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. I got distracted by what I thought was going to be um, a confrontation down on the corner, which happens, and that's okay. So anyway, so you have to eat every 4 hours. But the thing that's hard for me to do is you have to eat within the first 30 minutes of waking up. And that is like, um, I never would have thought that that would be the thing that makes a diet hard, like having to eat first thing in the morning. Because with me, I normally get up, have 17 cups of coffee, and smoke a pack of cigarettes before I even think about having food. And so I usually, if I'm left to my own devices, I usually don't eat anything until about, I don't know, in between 2 and 4 in the afternoon. And then I'll just eat something and then go back to whatever the fuck it was I'm doing. And then probably by like 9:30, like I'll have dinner or something like that. And so for the most part, that's all I eat throughout the day. Just that one little meal and then whatever dinner I'm gonna have or whatever. Oh, that's the shit. Fuck. Um, so the other thing is, I probably shouldn't be drinking tequila, but fuck, we already started this, so whatever. Um, so eating first thing in the morning is tough, and it's usually either I'll have 3 eggs or I'll have a protein shake with like fiber in it and instant coffee in it and um, uh, different kinds of like herbs I could just put in that are like healthy herb shit. And then I'll either have that with water, fill it up with water, or I'll fill it up with almond milk. Um, Usually I do it with water, just because having almond milk in there too first thing in the morning, it just like it's too much for me. But if like I'm coming up to like 4 hours and I don't have a meal prepared or anything like that, I'll fucking do a shake with almond milk. But today I did a fucking, because last night I got carne. I thought I was getting carne asada from the Hispanic market on the corner, and I ended up getting the pork version of carne asada. So it's like marinated and all this shit. And so I had that last night, and then the leftovers of it today, I put with like I chopped up cucumber, poblano pepper, tomato, red onion, cilantro, lime, and and kidney beans and white beans, and put I think lemon pepper on that. I think I already said that. And then just mix all that up and put it over the top of it, so it's like a salad of some sort on top of the meat, and it was flippin' delicious. So but yeah, so you end up on this diet eating a lot of meat, a lot of vegetables, a lot of beans. Like slow carbs are good. um what is it, simple carbs are bad. So like stay away from bread. You can have like corn tortillas if you really need something to hold whatever meat item you're going to eat. But yeah, it's pretty good. And you can have wine with it. And the guy who created the diet is a wine drinker. And so that's like why he did it, like making a diet that you could have wine with or whatever. So that's that. Another thing that's going on is there are gnats. And for those of you who remember me living in the desert in the trailer, I absolutely hate bugs of any kind and make it my life's mission to kill anything that is in my area. But the ceilings here are so high that I can't get them because they realized, oh, if we just stay up by the ceiling, he can't hurt us. But they're all over. They're all over the whole building. They're all over outside. It's fucking driving me crazy. But so I figured out, I'm like, you know what? I can use hairspray. I will spray these things with hairspray, and then they won't be able to fly away. And they could be as high up as they want, and fuck them. Well, you know what they fucking did? They're like, oh, you know what? He doesn't like to spray that shit over by his paintings and by his oil paintings. So why don't we just hang out over here by the paintings, and that fucker can't do a damn thing. These things are fucking minute gnats, and they're out thinking me. It's not okay. It's not fair. I'm not happy with this at all. Fucking assholes. So, basically, I have had a morning already. So now I just need to get these poems done because I don't like losing a challenge, guys. I really, really fucking don't. So um, I was going to do this with the screen share shit through OBS. And then because I started the stream thing and just webcam thing on the studio, I fucked that up. So here we are. So I'm just going to be telling you the things. But basically, I went through my Scrivener files and found all of the poem ideas that I haven't worked on. So, like, some people call this like the slush pile. Some people call it just like their idea folder. Some people, I don't know, call it a bunch of shit that's not finished. So I went through and I need 15 poems, and I actually had 15 ideas that I haven't worked on yet. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's exactly how much I need. This will be easy. And then I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? There's one missing in here. I wonder if I didn't bring a month's like idea pile over when I changed the month, because I in my Scrivener document for my poetry, everything's set up in months, so I have an idea of how productive a month was compared to another month. And it turns out that in December, when the year changed, I didn't bring over any of my slush pile from that. So I went and looked at that, and that was like the slush pile every month from that year. So there was a ton. So I don't know how many I have here to kind of play with, but it's a ridiculous amount. I would say probably 50, 40 or 50. Yeah, it's three scrolls to get through it. So that's about that. So what are you working on today? What are you writing? What are you doing? Tell me. I'm going to have to shut these blinds or else it's going to fucking drive me crazy. So let me moonwalk out of frame. That's better. Okay. Now I gotta fish. Okay, I got it. I gotta reel it in now. And now you know why I'm not a comedian, because I'm obviously cringy as shit and not very funny. So let's get cracking. So I had this whole list, and then right before I sat down, I was like, oh, you know what I should do? I should do something about my haircut situation because it's kind of bothering me. Unbelievable. But yesterday I wrote 2 poems that I really felt were good. And a lot of the time I write and I'll write and everything's okay. It's just like, oh, that's pretty okay. That's cool. Oh, I like that line. You know, that's cool. And then maybe like once a week, I'll get something where I'm like, that's fucking good. Like I like that. I like that a lot. It's fairly rare when I get 2 poems in a row where I'm like, fuck. Yes, like definitely. So I was pretty happy with what I was doing yesterday. But so yeah, we will start with this haircut poem. So let's see. And you guys just go ahead and write. I'm going to write, and I'll chime back in when I'm done or when I'm stuck. Ugh, unbelievable. Okay. Okay, there's that. Boom, sorted. How we doing? That one was okay. I'm really on this kick now with my poetry that I want to make sure. Actually, let me backtrack a little bit here because I think this plays a lot into it. So I did that. What do you call it? Um, that poetry tag. I made that poetry tag. The what do you call it? I can't even believe I can't remember the name. Oh, what is your poetry tag? And if you haven't done it, do it. Like you're tagged. Boom, sorted, tagged. Um, and that tag was just done by Bert at Storytime, who is amazing. And if you love books and well thought um, uh, commentary on the books, like give them a watch. They're great. But he did it, and he made a point, and it's so funny. Like you notice when there are people whose channels you really like, and you notice like they will be talking about whatever. They'll be talking about a book, they'll be talking about their thoughts, they'll be talking about whatever, and they'll just say something kind of off the cuff in passing. And for me, those things are so much more meaningful than the things that it seems like um, the point of the video is. And in the what is your poetry tag, he did this. He was answering one of the questions, and he just said, um, like, he likes poetry that asks a question. I don't even think he said asks a question, but that's been my thought about it. But what he was saying was it was like poetry that keeps the conversation going. And that is such a brilliant way to think about it, because there's a lot of poems I have that have questions in them, and I always try to like if there's a poem I'm writing that has kind of a deeper meaning or has layers to it, like I make sure that some of the lines in that poem are questions. But I never thought of it in the sense of doing that to keep the conversation going. And that just like blew my mind, and I was like, fuck. So I think he put it up yesterday, and so now, like, I'm looking back at the poetry I've written that has questions in it, and I'm trying to think if those questions are open enough to keep a conversation going. Because like just like with a debate or with conversation, when you ask a question, you want it to be an open-ended question. You don't want the answer to be given to be just yes or no. Like that's fucking boring. Nobody wants that. You want to ask a question that elicits a response, that elicits an explanation. You know what I'm saying? So that was just that was powerful for me. That was cool. I dug that a lot. And it's awesome because I'm pretty sure every single person who's done the what is your poetry tag has taught me something. And I don't know if that is the purpose for doing tags, but it's making me a lot more conscious of what I should do tags about. Because honestly, like I think maybe 6 people have done the what is your poetry tag, and every single one of them, like I've learned something, and it's been so fucking great. Oh, I love it. So yeah. So now I'm just like, what tags can I do next? Oh my god. All right. So I finished the haircut poem. Oh wait, no, I didn't, because I remember I wanted to say something about this. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go back to it. I just remembered. Yeah, okay, that works. Yeah, so that one is Dunsey. 14 poems to go. 14. All right. Um, Okay. And that one is now done. 13 to go. 13 poems. Yeah, that one was about a drive-by shooting I saw out the window, as with everything else. But yeah. It's weird. There's so many fireworks and explosions that happen around here that are so fucking loud that when you actually hear a gunshot, it is so fucking quiet compared to all the other noise you hear. And it might be like the caliber of the gun and all that shit. I don't know enough about guns. Don't give a shit enough to care, but there was another explosion right there. Did you hear that? Fucking idiots, dude. Like, I think there are, like, over this way, I think there's people who, like, make fireworks, like, out of their garage or whatever. And it boggles my mind that nobody, like, comes down on them for that. But at least once a day, if not twice a day, um, you just hear a really loud explosion that you shouldn't hear, and it's a crack up because you know something just fucked up, and whether it was on the 4th of July or on New Year's, like you saw that video if you watched it, but like everyone's shooting fireworks off up in the air and everything. And then every once in a while, this one like little area, you'll just see like this big bright flash and a big loud boom, like that lights up all the like houses right there. Because it didn't go up in the air, it stayed down and went boom. I hit it and it go boom. Yeah. So good times. So now I got to look through and see which one of these poems I want to hit up next. Okay. Which one do I want to do? I think I did this one already. Let me get rid of that. Okay. I did that one. Oh. Yeah, some of these are just like little stories. And some of these would probably make good short stories. I just haven't got around to it yet. And the poetry is fun because you could do a lot in a short amount of time. Let's see here. Can I open this a bit without it getting worse than it is? Yeah, that doesn't matter, does it? Yeah. It's so funny because like when I have like the sun coming in good, it like makes my hair look fucking white. It cracks me up. Okay, let's do. Oh wait, why is that? Where's that? Um, yeah, I already did that, so we'll ditch that. All right. The fuck was that? Let me see here. I have a couple options here. I either do the couple that smokes rock on the corner, or the guy I almost got into a fight with at the beach, or the corn man. Which one of these do I want to tackle first? Let me see. Because like when you're trying to write a poem, let's say, and this is actually like just a good little bit of shit here. So let me like run my fucking for a minute. I've heard people talk about this, and I don't know if I necessarily agree with how I've heard this topic brought up. But in the topic of forming a poem, okay, and how like what the science is behind that. Or not the science, but just like the mental gymnastics that it takes to do that. There are a few things, and the way people say it is like, first you get the idea, obviously. Like you can't write something if you haven't thought about it. So you get the idea to write a poem. So let's say I'm going to write a poem about, we'll do the couple that smokes the rock on the fucking block right there. Okay, so you witness what you witness, you observe it, you take it in, and then you think about it for a bit. And this is something that has always fucking pissed me off, whether I'm writing books, screenplays, even thinking about how to shoot a scene for a short or a feature or something like that. You need like solitude, you need quiet, you need like alone time to process this. And it doesn't have to necessarily be quiet, but you like have now like shut down to the outside world, and there could be like fucking all sorts of madness going around you, but you're going to probably be sitting there looking like this or this, because your brain is putting together all the shit and trying to come up with a way to make that stick and to make that opening line make sense. You know, it's doing the work. That's when the work is done, when you sit there and you're quiet. And what I hate about this, whether again it was on a film or me just writing something, if somebody's around, they're like what are you so pissed off at? Like what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What are you doing? What's wrong with you? And it's like, I'm fucking working. Like when you see me doing absolutely nothing, this fucking ADHD riddled motherfucker, like when you see me doing nothing, that means shut the fuck up. I'm working. Leave me alone. This is where the magic happens. This is it. And then once you do all that, once all of that is done, it's almost like the pre-writing all happens there. Then you could sit down and bang that shit out and just fucking go. So when you don't have that, that's when you end up like going, oh, I have an idea. I'm going to start typing. Oh, I don't fucking like that. Let me delete this. Okay, type. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Oh, this line isn't good here. This line would be better here. You know what would be a better opening line? And then you're like, oh, I don't know. Let me delete this. And then you're looking at a white screen again. and you're like, oh, I don't have it. I can't do this. I'm not a writer. Like, or maybe now is not the time, blah, 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 blah. You didn't give yourself that, like, that period, the incubation period, the fucking gestation period, like where all of that shit is fucking happening. And for me as a creator, that has always been the hardest thing to explain to people who are close to me, like my friends, my family, roommates, significant others, kids, um, neighbors. Like, that's the part they don't get. Like, they see you and they're like, oh, you're obviously not doing anything. Here, let me fucking destroy your fucking creativity for the next half hour, and that's always such a huge fucking thing. Huge thing. So right now, as I'm sitting here talking to you about this, I'm trying to think back to these ideas, and I'm trying to figure out why these ideas were ideas that weren't put together yet. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that a lot of these ideas I had when something else was going on. So I never had the let me sit, gestate, figure this out, make it work, and then go for it. Or else these all would have been written. Because, I mean, you saw how quickly I wrote those last two poems. I just went, and then they were done, you know? And I know a lot of people like to rewrite their stuff, but I'm one of those Ginsberg-y, like, first thought, best thought kind of dudes, where that thing you wrote at that time is the moment in time. That's the thing. That's the thing you hang on to. That's the art. That's the moment. If you have to constantly finesse and rework and rework and rework and rework, it's like, is that really art then? Or is that like an experiment? Is that like, you did this, you didn't like it, so now you have to fuck with it some more, and you don't like it, now you have to fuck with it some more. It's kind of like having a bunch of cooks in the kitchen, or even let's use a food analogy here. Let's say you made a grilled cheese sandwich. Okay, that's basic. Grilled cheese sandwich. It's good. People like grilled cheese sandwiches, but it's basic as fuck. You didn't like it. So you take a bite of it and you're like, oh God, this thing needs something else. So what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to like put something else in it and recook it. I'm going to re-grill this grilled cheese. So then you do that, you put it in there, you grill it again. Now it's getting kind of burnt. You're like, oh, it would be better if I fucking coated it in this and then fucking cooked it. So then you take the grilled cheese that's kind of almost burnt, you put a bunch more stuff on it, and then you keep cooking it, and you keep cooking it, and you keep cooking it. And pretty soon, like, you're going to have to just eat the fucking thing or else throw it away. And I think that's how I look at the rewriting. And I've been watching poetry videos on YouTube, which there are not fucking many. Let me just say this out loud right now. There are very few like poetry channels on YouTube. And when I hear them like talking about, like, they'll review a poetry book and they'll say, like, I just watched somebody, was it today or I don't know, it was the other day or something. I was just watching someone and they read this book and they're like, you know what? Like, it was their first poetry book and it was pretty good for their first poetry book. But sometimes when you read someone's first poetry book, you read it and you just go, man, they really needed to revise. Like, if they would have just like rewrote these a few more times and like did more revisions, this would probably be really good. And it's like, who the fuck are you? Like, this is one of the things that just drive me crazy, because are they saying that it's not very good because it isn't what they would have written? And so in their head, if someone revises it a bunch of times, hopefully then it'll get so fucking diluted and watered down that it would be like any other academic fucking poetry garbage. Like, I don't get that. Like, artists are artists. They fucking make and they fucking move on. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, maybe I'm fucking up my own ass here, but just the idea of complaining that somebody didn't rewrite enough to make good art is, it just, it sounds stupid because again, we get into art being subjective. If art is subjective, why the fuck is anyone saying anything? It seems like they should have revised more. Okay, well, that is like a statement that's rooted in an objective opinion of somebody's work. So, is poetry objective at that point? Because it's not supposed to be. It shouldn't be. I know a lot of people try to make it objective, but it's not. It's subjective. So I just get a little miffed. But I will say this, since everyone's asking me these questions, I can't imagine not revising. I hate what I write when I just go with the flow. Hey, Jordan, and hey, JH. Yeah, it might just be like a thing that some people do and some people don't. Like when I go through a poem after I write it, like I usually don't read it right away. I'll write it, walk away, do other shit, and then I'll come back to it just to make sure that I didn't like spell a bunch of shit wrong, or that autocorrect didn't try to fucking rewrite my work for me, which happens all the fucking time. I'll be like, carrots? Why am I writing about carrots? I've never written about carrots in my fucking life. And then I have to try to figure out what the fuck carrots was supposed to be. And then that takes me down a whole other word. Like, and so of course, because it's carrots, I'm thinking, oh, well, it has to be a word that started with C. And so I'm like thinking carrots, 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 carrots. And then it ends up like I was saying, like, further. And because my fat fucking fingers fucking hit the F instead of the C, or the C instead of the F, and I was just still typing madness, like the computer just did whatever the fuck it wanted to do. Psychos. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't want to put Jordan on the spot or anything. But like, do you have like a formal like education, like like some sort of literary education, like post high school, I guess? There's another boom. But yeah, and then sometimes as far as like editing goes, um there are times when I'll go through a poem, and if I feel like, in philosophy, dude, I took philosophy too, man. I was a philosophy major until I realized all I could do with a philosophy degree is teach philosophy in college, or write a book on philosophy. And then I was like, fuck, I don't know if I want to do either one of those things. But yeah, you might be able to follow me on this. Um, oh, it's in office philosophy. That's interesting as shit. I might want to pick your brain about that. I revise other people's literary works as part of my job, and I always prefer talking to the writer or translator in question so that my suggestions can improve on their ideas and not just be my own, regardless of what I think of their ideas. No, that was a typo. Okay. Yeah, see these typos, they just fucking show up all the fucking time. Um well no, but in my philosophy work in school in the college, um I like killed all the classes I was taking. Like they were just like super good. I was debating, I was doing all this shit, everything was fine. And then I get to logic, and my logic professor showed up in flip flops and corduroys with his shirt tucked in, which is fine. But he was like the most like chill looking professor I had. And he goes up to the chalkboard and he writes, "I can't get no satisfaction." And this is before he has said a fucking word to any of us. And he's like, he just turns around all pissed. And he's like, "What's wrong with that?" And so, like, obviously, like the double negative thing, and how stupid it is that Mick Jagger has spent all this time letting everyone know that no matter what he does, he's always satisfied. What a piece of garbage. And I don't know if it's just that he was like kind of like a washout from like the 70s kind of thing. But that really pissed him off. And all semester, he always brought it back to satisfaction, and how angry it made him. And so I was failing that class somehow. And then, dude, this is my big thing. Like the big project we had, I don't even fucking remember what it was, but like as soon as he said, like, this is like, I'm going to pair you guys up into obviously pairs, and you guys do this last project, and it's like 50% of your grade or whatever. I fucking ran up to the chick who answered all of his questions right. Like she was just like the smart chick in the class. I fucking ran straight to her. I'm like, "You're my partner. Let's do this." And she's just like, "Ugh." And I'm like, "If you don't do this, I'm gonna fail." Like, and so she got an A, so I got an A on that, and I barely got through that class. It was brutal. I have no idea why. It seems very logical that logic should be quite simple, but yeah, fuck me. Okay, let me get back into this real quick. So, what are you guys working on? JH, are you working on someone's stuff right now? We're gonna talk about form in a second here. Let me come back to that like that bit right there. Do you know Old Blues Chapter and Verse? Are you familiar with that channel, Jordan? Ooh, crime novel. So you got to point out the plot holes. Is that like a big thing? Like when you get like a lot of crime novels and stuff like that, is like, do you have to like point out like this is an obvious like hole in the plot kind of thing? Like, When you do translations, is it usually a specific language? Oh, nice. Right on. Me and Jason have many, many conversations. Oh, shit. Amazon just put something on my doorstep. Hang on a second. Hang on a second, guys. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Do you guys want to see what I'm going to get? Oh. Oh my God. I hope that's not fragile. Hey, who's got two thumbs and just managed to drop a bunch of shit? Oh my God, what is this? Oh, I'm so excited right now. I'm so excited and I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control and I think it's quite all right. That's not how the song goes. Too excited. Okay, this is. Let's start with this giant bag because I think I know what's in here. And last time I got this, it was quite fucked up. So, oh, that is nice. Yeah, that came out good, dude. I don't know if you can see. Oh, you can probably see it better this way. There. This is the cardstock I'm going to use for my next chapbook. It's like an antiqued white cover. Oh, really want to open it and check the poundage. It's 65 pound. That's really fucking heavy, dude. I don't like it that heavy, but oh man, that looks great. Oh, you guys probably can't see the. I'm gonna have to open this. God damn it. Okay. Where's my knife? Where are my knives? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Ugh. This is seriously the most ridiculous thing I've ever had to do. Why do I not know how to open plastic? Oh no, one of the corners is all fucked up. I wonder if that's where I dropped it. Oh man. That is so me. So something I would do. Okay, if I could just figure out how to get into this plastic, guys, I will show you what this is. Oh my God. I don't want to actually use the pen. This is the problem with stubby fingers. God damn it. And I don't have anything around here that is sharp enough to rip plastic. Anyway, this company, they're not my favorite company. Aha. Okay, we have succeeded. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. Oh, this is really thick. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't. Can I shut this? Does that make any difference at all? No, it doesn't. Anyway, so this is like an antiqued white, and it's very fucking pretty. It's okay. It's not horribly heavy. It's light. It's lighter than the normal cardstock I get, but it's not as light as I wanted it to be. I wanted it a little lighter, and I don't mean color. I mean paperweight. Oh, that is so fucking nice, though. But yeah, so antique white for my next chapbook. So those are for the covers of those. That goes there. What else do I have in this box? Oh, yeah. Yep. Envelopes for mailing. Good. Anything else in here? Yeah. What else you got in here? Ernie Ball Super Slinkies. And Dunlop Max Grip 73 millimeters. Oh my god. Oh, these weren't exactly the ones I wanted, but I couldn't find the ones I wanted. So let's see. And this is because I'm going to be recording that new Creeperson album. And I needed to put new strings on my guitar. And I wanted some new picks because I just have a bunch of different types, and I prefer nylon picks. Oh, and now they're just flying all over the place. Jesus. I prefer nylon picks. And so these are the Max Grip. These are okay. Probably should have just got the 60s. This is probably fine. That's probably okay. So yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah. And Ernest Ball strings. I've never really liked the Slinkies. I usually get Diodarios, but the kind that I normally use, they didn't have. They were out of. And so I actually don't know what this is. This is a box of some sort. What? I just got one of these. Okay, I have a filter for my water for my AquaGear, and I just got this yesterday or 2 days ago, and now they sent me another one. I hope I didn't pay for two because I didn't ask for two. So I still have a stack of newsprint that is not here. So they are late on that. Okay, so now all that I want to do is play my fucking guitar. Use your teeth. Use my teeth to play my guitar, or use my teeth? No, I'm just kidding. You probably put that up there a minute ago. But yeah, so I'm loving this cardstock. I love the look of it. And it's probably okay. I wish it was a little more like the Astro Brights. They're not very textured. Like they just are what they are. So that would have been nice if that was textured a bit. I would have appreciated that. But like I don't know if you've if any of you have the Shit Poems chapbook. Wait, do I have it down here? This one right here. This cardstock is very light, and it has this texture to it that just makes you want to fucking rub it. It's so, I don't know if you could see, like, when you look at it in the light, you can almost see like ridges in it. You know what it almost feels like? It almost feels like some grocery store paper bags, if that makes sense. I've rubbed that chapbook a lot. Hello, Bunny. How are you doing? Oh, Bunny. Jordan's in the chat. And Jordan Bunny's in the chat. But yeah, so this, and it's weird because the outside feels a lot more textured than the inside does. And I just love this. But this company, they have tons of different kinds of cardstock and different width of cardstock, I guess, or weight of cardstock, but it's all different shades of brown. And as much as I love brown cardstock, there's only so much brown cardstock I could use. So I've gotten a reams from them, but yeah, I could only make so many brown chapbooks. I think they had like a yellowy cream one. But yeah, both of you guys are in the Blood Rag, in that first Blood Rag issue. So, and now you guys are here chatting. But yeah, so me and Jason have had quite a few discussions about form and the sound of poetry and kind of what our expectations from poetry are. So like I was going to say, if you don't know Jason, you need to hit Jason up and you guys would probably be able to fucking burn the house down with some fucking conversation about it. I personally, I've said this before, I don't hate form. I understand the purpose that it has served over the years, over the many, many years. But something kind of hit me a little bit ago, and I haven't really, I don't think I've talked about it. I think I was going to talk about it in the workshop stuff. But the thing about form that started to kind of bug me is that every form in poetry somebody created, and that was the way somebody did that poetry. So before that person created that form, they were doing something else. So what were they doing? And then when they first attempted that form, they weren't doing it because they're like, this is poetic form. They were just doing it because they were just being free and writing. And then they created something and then said, this is poetics, and it became form. And then I was like, oh, okay, so every form started somewhere. That makes sense. Okay. Then I was thinking about it more, and I was like, oh, so then does that mean anyone who does a poem in that style is now being plagiaristic because somebody created this thing for their art, and now there are other people who are mimicking this way of structure? And so it started like really fucking with my head a little bit. And I think I vaguely talked to Bunny about this, but I was going to do a series of videos on this. And it's so fucking in the weeds that like I don't know if it would be worth doing, honestly. But like me being an antagonistic motherfucker makes me kind of want to do it. But I was like studying, like I was researching like each poetic form and trying to trace each thing back to its beginnings and what was the norm, what was considered poetry in that area before that happened. And it basically, oh, hey Deborah, how you doing? Oh, nobody's late. It's irrelevant. Everyone comes and goes. Um, but the idea was that I was like, okay, so like I don't know. I don't want to get like super hardcore into it right now, but I was just thinking about like, so are most of the rules of poetry, do they just date back to fucking like ancient Rome, or like are we really like, is that like what we're playing with here, and then like European Middle Ages and all this other shit? And I was kind of I don't know, I kind of freaked out because before a form is called a form, it was just some dude writing something or some chick writing something. Like, and that made everything feel really fucking weird to me. And it made me look at it in a different light than before. Because before I wasn't a huge fan of it because I felt like um, you're focusing more on how something is said instead of what is being said. That was my biggest beef with it before. But now I'm like just kind of tripping balls on it. And I'm just like, well, like, and I might have said it on here before. I'm like, so if I just decide that, uh, I think you're right that the rules change, but there have always been rules. And personally, I prefer rules in poetry. So there have always been rules. Like there was never a time when there wasn't rules in poetry. It became a form when as soon as it was being emulated by others, I guess. Yeah, that's where it's kind of where I'm going with it, because like does somebody does somebody go, I have created a form of poetry, or do they do something and then somebody copies it or mimics it or emulates it, and then they like steal like an artist and say like, I took this idea from so and so, so now this is a thing. um but I mean, that's form. But if you just want rules in poetry, you can just say like, okay, this next poem I'm going to write, um every line can only have 3 words in it, and the word, whatever the last word ends with in the line, the next line has to start with that same letter. And now this form is called Bajabajubib, and I have just created a poetic form. So you could say whatever you want as long as you follow these simple guidelines. 3 words a line, whatever word you end with, the last letter of that word has to be the first letter of the word in the next line. It's like music. There's a difference between music and noise, but that doesn't mean you can't experiment and change up the form. Yeah, but that's also saying, like, if you're using music as the example, like, you would be saying, like, okay, well, um, depending on what kind of poetry we're going to be comparing this to, like, each uh, line in a song has to be 16 lines long, and you can't go over that and you can't go under it. And there can only be X amount of syllables in the chorus. And so, I mean, I get the theory there, but it's a bit, I don't know. I don't think it's, I mean, it's kind of apples to oranges because, like, noise. Let me see. Music is noise. So, are you saying then that free form poetry is noise compared to poetic form? Like, is that the argument? Because if that's the argument, then that's a different way to go about that. I mean, I understand what you're saying, and to each his own, and that whole thing. Because, like, when me and Jason talk about this stuff, Jason, like, me and Jason have such drastically different views about what we like. But we also really enjoy talking to one another, so it's okay. But I've even kind of softened to insta poetry, and that was like, I don't know how to say it. That was almost like the bane of my existence. Um, and then I have met people who got into poetry because of that, because it was so accessible. And, like, the fact that poetry was opened up to them because of something so benign and easy, then, like, fuck, then good. Like, I'm glad that that's happening, and now they're reading other shit and expanding their search. But who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody, and they were talking about how school, like, destroyed poetry for them. Like, when they were in high school, like, that's the loudest. Oh, it's someone on a phone on a speaker in a car. I was like, what the fuck's happening? But someone was saying how having to go over poetry in school and read these things, and then, like, okay, now what is this poem saying? Tell me what it's saying. It's really obtuse, but tell me what it's saying. And if you can't tell me what it's saying the right way, then you're gonna fail, kind of thing. And maybe it was a video I watched. I don't remember if it was an actual conversation I had with somebody now, or if I watched a video about it. I can't remember. But anyway, so just thinking about stuff like that, um, kind of has, like, made me a little less um, rough on other things, because everyone is fucking different, and people like different things. There's people who like different kinds of food and don't like others. I mean, shit, there's like 80 million different genres of porn on the internet, like, there's something for everybody. So, um, being able to have something that you enjoy doesn't mean everyone else has to enjoy that thing. So, that has kind of made me feel a bit better. But at the same time, I still want things to matter, I guess. And when I feel like some of it doesn't, and it's just words, like, I was, oh, okay, I will say this, because this is something that actually um, was kind of bothering me a little bit. Like, it was probably a video. I wish I kept track of the shit that I watched, but I'll watch something and then just go, okay, whatever, and then just like move on and not think about it. And then I'll have a conversation like this with myself, obviously. And something will like trigger something in my head, and I'll go, oh yeah. Okay, so let's see. Buddy said, I don't like the rules. I don't give a shit about form. Maybe I'm just lazy. And then Jordan said, it may not be noise, I guess, but I don't think it's poetry exactly either. Well, then, if we're going to talk about that with poetry, then there have to be like objectifiable rules for what poetry is. So, what those rules are, if that's something that everyone agrees on as the rules, then we should all take part in that and like go, yes, these are what the rules for poetry are. But because to me, poetry is art and art is subjective, there's not supposed to be like things that you could objectively say this is good or bad, this is yes or no. Like you could either like it or you don't like it, but you can't like unpoem a poem because you don't like it or you don't think it's written the right way. That's like okay, that's just like crazy stuff. But yeah, no, there's like definitely some like noise music that like especially when industrial got really big in the 90s, there was stuff that I just absolutely hated. Um but it was just like I'm like, yeah, I don't like that genre of music. I don't know if I ever came out and said this is not something. Hmm. That's a weird thought. And I totally forgot the point I was going to make a second ago. Oh yeah, what I don't like. Um and this is just me, but someone was saying like, like those magnets where you have like a bunch of words and like you write poetry on your fridge with your fridge magnets and stuff like that. Um Somebody was talking about how like important that is to use to come up with like opening lines to your poems and like put a bunch of words on the fridge and then go, okay, like yes, now I could go with this. And um I like the idea as like an exercise to be like just making your brain work and stuff. But I don't know. I think when you just take words that make no fucking logical sense with one another and then put that in a poem, then that's just like you making something purposefully opaque to where um, no one is going to, because people will try to see meaning in it and you're like laughing in the background rubbing your hands together going ha, 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 I just got it off the fridge while these people are trying to come up with some logic behind it. I don't think that if it speaks to you, I do think that if it speaks to you, it's doing its job. Formless poetry, if it is poetry, just doesn't usually speak to me. It's so funny that you have to put in the if it is poetry. Like you just called it poetry. Formless poetry just doesn't usually speak to me. That's all that had to be said there. Okay. And that's fine. Like again, to each his own. I do not want to eat eel, but people go to sushi restaurants all the time and love it. Oh, but I'm not going to go, that's not food. How dare you eat eel, you sick fuck. What is it? Unami? Unami? I don't know. Now I feel like I'm just saying sounds that aren't even words. Let's see. Do we have tequila in here still? Oh yeah. Okay, so let me see here. So unagi. Unagi. Is that what I said? Unagi? Probably not what I said. But you can have those situations where the poet really wanted to say something, but no one gets it when they read the finished poem. Art is still subjective, but that situation is an objective fact. So the objective fact is, let me just make sure I'm understanding this right. But you can have the situations where the poet really wanted to say something, but no one gets it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. But that situation is an objective fact. So the fact is that no one got the poem that he was really hoping someone would get. I might not have understood that properly. But yeah, so what are we all working on here if you are writing right now? Because I am still, I think, 13 so-called poems away. Does it matter if no one else gets it, if that's exactly what the writer wants to say? And at this point, I don't think anything matters because the artist is going to do what the artist wants to do. And if the artist, if that's how they make art, that's how they make art. But I think as a person who consumes the art, it depends on what, I guess it depends on what you feel. Like if you get something from it, good. And if you don't, somebody else will. Doesn't matter if nobody else gets it, if that's exactly what the writer wants to say. Yeah, sure. Does it matter if no one else gets it? Yeah. Sorry, I'm having to reread everything. Shouldn't art be able to successfully communicate something? It should, but it doesn't have to because again, this is up to the artists. What is that? Venus de Milo has no arms. So does that mean like every woman should have no arms? Like, or is it just like this is a cool bust with a bit of torso here? That's probably a horrible fucking argument. But like, like it is what it is, It could be something, it could be nothing. Okay, so I'm working on this crack rock poem here. What is that word? What is that word? To get back to this, let's see here. JH said that would say something about the quality of the text, I think, but maybe my example is too extreme. And to get back to what Gus was saying, hello, Gus. I think, honestly, my take on all of this, if you are writing poetry, I think and this is how I like a poet. If you're writing poetry, you have to have something to say, whether you're saying something important, whether you are observing an event that happened and now we're seeing it through your eyes and the whole deal, or whether it is completely speculative, but like I was saying at the beginning of this stream about how important it is to have questions, to have open-ended questions, to where, like Bert from Storytime was saying, keep a conversation going. Those things are important as far as poetry goes. Just like if you were writing essays on any given topic, like the point of that should be to keep channels open and to have the conversation about the things that the essay is about. So with that said, that's the kind of shit I like. Now, if you can do that in a form that you're comfortable in writing in, then fuck yeah, knock yourself out. And I will probably enjoy that a great deal. But if you are just doing the form to do the form and the poetry you're writing is objectively good based on the rules and the parameters given out, but the things you're saying are empty and are void of anything, then for me, I'm not going to enjoy that poem. And just like if you are writing free form where there are no rules and you could do whatever you want and you still don't have anything to fucking say, then it's just like, this is like a grocery list: mustard, mayonnaise, bread. But that too, I guess, is a form of poetry. If you look up poetic forms, the list is a poetic form. So you could just list things. My favorite poets. Bukowski is one of my favorites, and I cringe to say that a little bit because everyone just goes, oh. And then that's that. But I really, really like early Doug Blazik. I don't like the stuff he did after, I think, 83. He changed the way he did his shit. And it was like, why are you doing this? Like, stop. Steve Richman. I like Steve Richman's stuff. Al Purdy is really good. I also have really been getting into Ginsberg. And to me, I've never wanted to say, this is so funny. I have never wanted to like Allen Ginsberg. And I thought he was like a one-trick pony with Howl. And I thought that was all there was. And then I started, if you watched any of those City Lights videos I did with that anthology, I started hitting more of his stuff, and it fucking was really good, and I couldn't fucking believe it. And so I have some of those books coming now. And what I've read of Kenneth Patchen, I really like. And I'm waiting on that one. And I think I talked about this in a video. Yeah, I did. I did talk about it, where like I found a really good deal on one of his books and I was all excited to get it. and then somebody beat me to it, even though it was in my cart. I hadn't paid yet, and I was so angry. I was so mad. So that really pissed me off. But as a kid, I mean, I fucking like, I think every kid who went to public school in America at some point had to read a bunch of Edgar Allan Poe. So Edgar Allan Poe and Jim Morrison and Robert Frost were the first poets that I really, really dug a lot of. And then Longfellow, I had a bunch of that when I was in high school. And then I found Henry Rollins. And when I found Henry Rollins, that is when I completely, my whole view on poetry fucking changed. He has a book. I don't think you can get him anymore. I think it's in a collection now, but there was a book called One from None. And that book was like, you know how like there are people who say like they have like and I don't think they do it anymore, but there was a period where everyone's like, oh yeah, everywhere I go I carry Catcher in the Rye with me, and it's just like the book I carry with me. Well, One from None was that book for me. Like I took that everywhere and read it and read it and read it and read it and read it. And I recited a poem from it in 10th grade, the 10th grade poetry reading we had. And I'll even read it now. I will recite it. I want to take a screwdriver and mutilate my face and find a woman who loves me for who I am, and then say I don't need it and walk away. Ah, riveting stuff there, Henry Rollins. Good job, dude. Yeah. But one of the things about Rollins that drove me crazy is that he didn't name his poems. So finding his poems, like even if you knew what book it was in, um, like it was kind of a bitch. But like Black Coffee Blues, Bang, um, Ice Cream is even pretty good. What were some of the other books of his I had? One from None, Bang, Black Coffee Blues. Then I think there was. Oh wait, no. The Art of Drowning? Is that what it was called? I don't know. There was something about drowning. The Art of Drowning might be an album from some other band or something. Drowning in the Cesspool? I don't know. Something like that. But yeah, so that was like, I was really big into him. And then I had a poetry book of Exene from X, and I was really into that for a little bit too. And then everything I read started sounding similar, and so I was getting kind of annoyed with that, and so I kind of fell off of a lot of stuff for a while. Who are your guys' favorites? Throw some names in here. There's some poet. I can't remember his name, so this isn't going to be very helpful. There's a poet from France, I think, that I'm trying to find copies of. Tennyson, Yeats, Whitman. Okay, let me ask you this, Jordan. Are you a fan of the Smiths or Morrissey? Perfect. How much do you think his lyrics are actually like horribly inspired by like Keats and the whole like that whole era of poetry? Like, do you think a lot of it is from that lyrically speaking? Because, like, I know, like, I love the Smiths and I love early Morrissey stuff, like the first, like, two or three albums. And then stuff after that I like, but I don't like latch on to. And the thing that I always really liked about Morrissey was like the kind of tongue in cheek but kitchen sink drama of like the world he creates with his songs and shit. That's what I'm talking about. The fun poking. Now, did you read his book that he like almost like, I don't know if he actually sued Penguin over it or was gonna sue Penguin over it. Did you read that? Where like the first I can't remember how many pages it was, but there was like, no, I haven't gotten a hold of it yet. I heard that it's very hard to read, and that's why Penguin didn't want to put it out as a modern classic. Um, that like the first like I don't want to say it and be wrong about what I'm saying, but like the first like 5 or 6 pages is like one sentence and it doesn't have like any line breaks or paragraph indents or anything like that. It's just this like walls of text and shit. Um, but all I've really heard about the book is this reasons why Penguin didn't want to like put it out under the modern classics line, and he got really upset about that. Okay. I tried I found a pirated copy. He's a real douche. Okay, Jordan, me and you, we can high five on that. I think he's a real douche, or he's a real douche, I think. But what a songwriter, dude! Like, I'm I'm not a huge fan of the end of "Miserable Lie." I think is what the song's called. Um, but goddamn, like with the exception of the end of that song, like any Smiths anything is like mandatory listening. Like fucking hell, dude. Oh, so good. I could hit that all day long. That's what she said. Okay. I'm gonna go back and try to get this. There's a word, and I'm trying to think what the word is, and I can't fucking grasp it. Um, that's not right. All right. Oh, take care, Jordan. Okay, okay, okay. Gus and JH, if you are still here, go ahead and send me or message me or send an email to ihatemattwall@gmail.com, and I will send you guys some mini zines. There we go. I said I would do a giveaway, and it is now done. It has now happened. The giveaway is over. This might not be over. I might do more. But yeah, if you email me your address, I will send you some stuff. Do I want to do this one next? Okay, so I am no sweat, man. No sweat. Yay. So again, I hate mattwall@gmail.com. Just send me your address and I'll mail those out to you this week. Okay, so what number am I at now? 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88. Wait a second. That's not right, is it? Okay, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88. Oh, yeah, that's right. 12. I have 12 more poems. 12 more poems to write. For those of you who don't know what I'm doing, 100 days ago, there was a challenge started by Zoe B on her channel, the 100 poems in 100 days. And I got to it a little late, but I can't remember now what date I came to it. But her 100 days, I think, ends today. And I think the way she was doing it was to write one poem every day for 100 days. And I fucked that up because I got there late. So now I'm just trying to write 100 poems in 100 days. And I am at 88, I said. So yeah, I think I need some more coffee. Okay, am I gonna do the Corn Man? I feel like I've written about the Corn Man. Maybe I'll write about when I showed my butthole to my neighbor. Do you notice yourself gravitating towards any specific themes when you're writing a lot of poetry? Let's see. Do you notice yourself gravitating towards any specific themes when you're writing a lot of poetry? Now, is this question based on the a lot of poetry? Like if I'm trying to, or is that just a general term? Like when I'm just writing poetry, do I gravitate towards certain themes? Or is it more of like, when you're trying to get a bunch of poems done, do they tend to gravitate towards the same theme? Um, the oh, I know there's a delay, so I'll answer this how I think. I usually don't try to do themes, but I'll notice themes. So, but and it's usually not like all together. So, for instance, um, the second. I was thinking in the context of this 100 days thing. Okay, so in the second way of this, no, but it also depends on what I'm going through because when I was looking at the poems that I have here, a lot of them are dealing with like my personal relationships right now. And that typically isn't something I write a lot about. I usually will write about things I see or things that happen around me. And I'm kind of like a fly on the wall watching these things happen. Um, but then I end up, if I have enough of those things about one topic, I will put those out in a chat book or something. So, like, when we were doing like the shit poems thing, talking about this feeling good and all that stuff, like, all these poems are about this and bathrooms and stuff like that. Let's see. Coldest Beer in the Desert, or about this liquor store in the desert. Um, so I have stuff about the post office, Walmart, anxiety, antidepressants. So, like, I'll end up taking all of those things and then putting them together if, like, I find a bunch about a certain topic. And lately, like, if I were to take these 100 poems here and go through all of them, I would say a lot of them are about looking out my window and the things that I see when I'm looking out the window. And so I was thinking about maybe putting a collection together of looking out my window. But then I noticed that there are a lot of poems I have about things I see out my window, which made me feel very isolated and almost in a horribly fucking depressing way. Like, dude, I need to get out more, because the majority of my poetry comes from what I see out the window. And a lot of that is because I sit here at my desk and I open the computer and I start typing, and then somebody outside blows up, or a car hits something, or somebody starts screaming at somebody, and then I'm just like, ooh, and I start writing about that. Let's see here. Oh, I can't watch a video right now. Um, but anyway, yeah. I think if I was doing one poem a day and did that very, um, was very strict with writing one poem every day, I think they would be very different. But when I'm writing, like right now, I'm trying to write 12 before the end of the day. Um, like, I'm sure some of these are going to start to coincide, but again, a lot of these are from my idea pile that I've been putting together for the last year. So I'm hoping that they're not too exactly the same. Okay, I am going to make a cup of coffee and put some tequila in it, and then you could read that if you could read it. Oh my gosh, you're looking through a chain link fence at a giant marshmallow. Oh no. Bum, 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 ba-da, ba-da, oh. Bam, ba-da, bam, bam, ba-da, bam. Bum, 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 ba-da. Oh, I just spilled coffee on my bare foot. Ow. Ow. Oh, wait. Yeah, there we go. Oh, what did I do? Well, I dropped something behind the printer. That's fancy. Oh, let's see. Makes you wonder how other poets have managed to come up with all their stuff sitting behind their windows, like Emily Dickinson. Oh, dude, ain't that the truth, man? It's so interesting. Like, I think a lot of it has to do with how observant somebody is and then how empathetic they are. Because there are times when, like, I'll be driving around with somebody and, like, we'll be driving down the street and I'll see somebody like tripping balls, like standing on the corner or whatever, like going like completely like out of their fucking head. And then like I'll see some dude like across the street like fall off a skateboard and I'll fucking laugh or whatever. And I don't know. And then I'll see like a car that's painted a color that I've never seen before. And I'll mention all of these things to the person I'm in the car with, who's also looking out the windows. And they didn't see the guy tripping balls. They didn't see the guy fall off the skateboard. And they didn't notice the car that was the color of baby shit in a diaper, you know? And it's weird because there are some people who just don't notice things. And think about it, like when you're out with people, like if you notice something and see if other people notice it too, or if you have to point it out to them. And if you're the person who's constantly pointing stuff out, it's almost like your soul is on the search. Like it wants to find stuff. It wants to experience things. It wants to see what's happening. And then depending on how like empathetic you are, like how how do you see that now that you've seen it? Like the guy tripping balls, that dude was just I thought it was funny. The guy on the skateboard who fell, I thought it was funny. He didn't look like he got hurt. If he would have like started screaming bloody murder, I would have felt really bad. The baby shit car made me think of baby shit. And if I was writing about the baby shit car, I would probably start talking about um, changing diapers and how many times I had to do that. Um, but it just like observing is one thing, and then trying to express how you see that out of your eyes to someone else is a completely different thing. But it only was quite recently, maybe the last couple years, that I noticed that other people didn't realize things. And like it just it's weird. So like for instance, me and my kid were in Walmart one time. And I think I might have written about this. It sounds like something I would have written about. But we were there, and every aisle we went down, there were like elderly people in motorized carts. And I was like just kind of like going, "Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Oh, I'm in everybody's way. Oh, I'm kind of wide, so I end up in everyone's way when you're in an aisle." And so it was like kind of getting to me, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of people in fucking carts here. And then we come back around, and then I noticed that all of them were eating ice cream cones, like soft serve ice cream cones. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, there are way too many elderly people roaming the aisles of fucking Walmart, and someone is fucking giving them ice cream. Like, what the fuck is going on right now? And I was like completely losing my shit and getting really just annoyed because like I end up in everybody's way, and now they're not paying attention because they're eating fucking ice cream cones. And so I say to my kid, I'm like, Jesus Christ, there's all these fucking people on carts, and my kid's like, oh yeah, there kind of is, huh? I'm like, and they all have ice cream. And my kid's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then we went around, and it turns out like there's a Burger King inside Walmart, and Walmart was having like some special on fucking soft serve ice cream cones. And so and all the elderly people were there because it was a like the tram or the shuttle from the old folks home to Walmart. Like that was the day and time for the Walmart trip. And so I'm sitting here losing my mind thinking there's some fucking conspiracy against me. Like fate is playing an evil trick just to see how far it could push me before I finally fucking snap. And there were two very logical explanations for why both of these things were happening. Um, dude, I just went on a really deep dive into something um, that wasn't even that big of a thing. Oh, because we were talking about Emily Dickinson and looking out windows, and I still like I see something. I'm like, what is it? Is something happening? Do I need to write this down? I probably should have been a journalist, honestly, but I'm too opinionated, so that wouldn't have worked out well. Uh, anyway. I think I put less tequila in that one than the other one that I had. Okay, so 12 poems to go. Which one am I going to do? Am I doing the guy at the beach, the corn man, Why men cheat on women. The butthole. Why do you read? Oh, yes. That would be kind of good. Dude, I don't know. Like, in the past, like 6 months, I'll say, people have been telling me the most ridiculous stories I've ever fucking heard. And it is been, I know there is an artistic, creative way to take creative license with stories people tell you. Um, Shit, did I write about that thing yet? I was gonna write about this one thing about a friend of mine came and told me this fucking horrific story about a dead body, and I really wanted to write about it. I don't know if I did. Oh, yeah, I don't think I did. Well, if I did, I'll just have another poem exactly about the same thing. I really think I did, though. Now I'm fucking concerned. Let me see. Nope, that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Um, was that it? Oh no, 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 no. Oh no, that wasn't it either. Um, a truck is ridiculously loud for no reason. Um, mm, this is awful. I'm sorry, guys. Is this it? No, it's not. Maybe I didn't write it. I thought I did. See, this is also the problem about like when I was talking about pre-writing, where like you get the idea and then you spend a lot of time silently, like just mulling over the thing. Sometimes I do that so much about a specific thing that I assume that I've already written the poem. And then I get to it and I try to find the poem and it turns out I never wrote it. Um Maybe this is it. Oh no, that's not it. Okay, I'm going back as far as April, and then that's it. If it's not in April, and luckily I only wrote 4 poems in April. What a horrible month that was, dude. Fuck. Okay, yeah, I guess I haven't written it yet, so I'll do that now. Let me see. Where would that be? Okay, here we go. one of the neighbors that I actually enjoy talking to, I haven't seen in like a month, and I thought maybe they had moved out, but she just walked by, so that was nice. Um, she had COVID, and when she got COVID, she like quarantined in her apartment, and then like nobody saw her for like a month, and I was like, this one day I was standing in the hall. Wait, she's a floor up, I think. She's a floor up. And I was like, my God, should someone like ask the landlord to like go in and like see if she's okay? Like, I haven't heard her. I haven't like noticed her around or anything like that. And then I thought to myself, I'm like, well, if she doesn't pay her rent, the landlord will go in. And I'm like, okay, I'll see if the landlord goes in or not. But like now I'm like the shitty neighbor who doesn't fucking check to see. That was ridiculous. Who doesn't check to see if people are okay? I just assume like, oh, well, if they don't pay the rent, like someone will find out. I'm a dick. I need to be a better neighbor. It's so funny. There are actually quite a lot of units in this building, and I didn't think I knew that many people who lived here. And then I was trying to like count how many people that I've actually met and ran into, or at least have nicknames for, because I see them a lot. And I'm pretty sure that there might be only like maybe like 2 or 3 apartments of people who I don't know, which is weird because I tend to keep to myself. Okay, so here we go. Let me see if I can do this, if anything will come up. Let me see. Can I do it like this? I swear to God, I've written this. I wonder if I wrote it on my phone and never put it on my computer. No, it doesn't. Okay, I'll just write it. Night, JH. But no. I need to take the beginning of this and put it in the second bit of this, because if not, I'm going to repeat myself, and I don't want to do that. I don't like that. Woo! All right. Oh, that was take care, have fun, and be safe. I got to be safe typing. That was a lot of typing, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. Um. So now to call this, to call this, to call this. We'll call it that. 11 poems to go. Is anyone still here? Oh, shockingly enough, yeah. Hi, everybody. Are you guys enjoying yourselves? Are you guys writing anything? Okay, I will read you this little bit I just wrote. This thing that may be a poem. It is called Hypothermia. Walking up to my building, there was a man passed out, face down in my path. I stepped over him, as I do when there are people blocking my way. Entered the building, entered my apartment, turned on the lights, turned on the kettle. It was cold. It was so cold for LA that I was beginning to worry that the unhoused may freeze to death. And here I am making instant coffee. In the morning, I walked out of the building and was met with police tape, paramedics, cops, spectators. I looked down on the sidewalk and there was a sheet over a body in the exact spot of the body from the night before. Guilt coursed through me. What a piece of shit I was. How selfish could one person be? I had killed this man, I thought. I walked over to the cop and asked what the cause of death was. I squinted my eyes, waiting for the horror, waiting for the word hypothermia. The cop said, gunshot to the face. Oh, thank God, I shouted, leaned over, hands on knees, laughed out loud. Phew! I walked around the body this time instead of over and whistled a jaunty tune. That's some fun stuff, huh? 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 Hypothermia. Do I want to do it like that? Let me see what that looks like. Hypothermia. Yeah, whatever. It's kind of fun. Oh. So yeah, so that is taking creative license with a tale somebody told me. The friend of mine who told me this story, this is the reason why he moved out of why he moved out of this neighborhood. He thought, because like there's people like passed out across sidewalks all the time, and it's usually heroin. And I don't know if it has a name, but I call it the junkie slump, because like you see these people and they're passed out, but it's like they're in a position that they would have been if they were sitting up, but they are gone. And so now they're in the same position, but now they have fallen onto the sidewalk. And because they usually like start like sitting up against a wall or something like that. And then after they shoot up and it's like in them, then they just kind of like they slump, they just like slide and fall down, but they're in the same position. And you see that a lot. But so my buddy, he lived in Koreatown actually, like which is, but like I say it like it's far away, it's like 2 blocks that way. But he was walking home one night and there was somebody like in front of his building, right in his walkway, and he steps over the body thinking that it was just some dude asleep, and goes to bed. It was really cold and he was like feeling kind of guilty, like should I take a blanket down to him, should I do something, god I feel kind of bad now, and all this shit. And then he fucking wakes up the next morning and there's the police tape and all this shit. And he fucking thought he killed this guy. And he was like completely losing his shit. And asked the cop. And the cop fucking pulled the sheet back and showed him, which I think was a little much. Like, I don't know if that would really happen. But yeah, the dude, like the whole front side of the dude's face had been blown off. And he's like, I guess I should have felt better then, but I didn't, because he just showed me like some dude's no face. So, and then he's like, and the cop asked me if I knew who he was, and that's why he was like showing me the thing, because he thought that that was really fucked up that the cop showed him, and was like kind of like pissed off. But the cop's like, "Oh, I thought you knew who this was," and he's like, "No, I don't fucking know who it was." But so that was enough for him to move out of Koreatown. So with that said, what did I say? I have 11 poems left. I've been doing this stream for 2.5 hours, and I've only written 1, 2, 3, 4 poems. Ooh, I got to fucking kick. I got to really nail this. So I think I'm going to split and try to knock some of these out. But JH, if you watch this later, the end of it, make sure to send me your address. Gus, send me your address too. And thanks, Jordan and Bunny and Deborah, for hanging out. And those of you who haven't been in the chat but have been hanging out, I appreciate you. Thank you. And definitely Monday, show up for the Poetic Anarchy course. It's going to be fun. We'll have some good times writing. So until next time, everybody, I will see you soon, and bye-bye. Send me something, Gus.